Good morning, everybody. It is 5:34 in the old AM. We have another 37-degree morning. I don't know about y'all, and I do know about some of y'all, but this winter time is just going on and on and on. I've had enough of cold. I got the old heated seat beginning to heat. It ain't going fast enough. Anyway, we're on our way. Well, I'm on my way to work this morning. Nowhere special. Just doing that thing I do 5 days a week. And but something's happened. Another, deal you can't pass up kind of thing. And I couldn't pass it up. So I'm going to take care of that this morning actually, and let y'all see what the surprise is here in just a little bit. And let's just say I'm covering all the realms. Okay? Let's just say that. That's all I'm going to say for right now. Stop prying. Quit asking questions. Just wait. I mean, for you, it's going to be like, poof. Okay, yeah. Seriously tired of the cold. It says it's 40 degrees out there, but there's no way. Well, as you can see, we've got another toy. So now I figure I got all the realms covered. I have small, medium, and large now. I had extra large way back when. Now I just got small, medium, large. So anyway, this weekend we'll be going over the Coleman CT200U, and I'll give you the story on the bike, a little bit more of the story anyway. See you later on. Back out to the icebox. So just like that, the work day is through and I'm on the way home, and we're going to pull the little Coleman mini bike out of the back of the truck and just see what it's all about, see what we're dealing with. Anyway, let's go to the house. We'll get this thing, somehow get it out of the back by ourselves, that nobody's home. I think we can handle it though. And give this thing a wash and then see what we're dealing with. See you at the house. So the first thing we're going to do is take the spark plug out, because I think when it was laying on its side, when he brought it to me, I think we got gas in the cylinder or oil or whatever. It's hard to pull. So I'm going to take the spark plug out and see if any fuel comes out or anything like that, and make sure that she'll run and do whatever. And then we're going to get her cleaned up, see what she looks like, see what we're dealing with. She is soaked. If you can see that or not. Spark plug soaked, so there's probably full of fuel. Yes, it was full of fuel. Whew. All right. I'm gonna go clean the gas off me real quick and clean this plug up. She's soaked. Okay, spark plug nice and clean. Took a little sandpaper, cleaned it up real good and got it dried off. Go ahead and put that back in and just see what happens. darn throttle's stuck. So when I got it to fire, when I let the clutch off, the choke off of it, it just took off.
Did it get stuck?
Yeah, the choke was, I had the choke on, but when I cut the choke off, it's like the throttle was stuck. It was like in wide open. I'll take the carburetor apart and see if I can figure out why I did that. And the brake doesn't work. Okay, so the butterfly was stuck inside the carburetor. Even though you could move the throttle and everything seemed okay, the butterfly was stuck wide open inside of there. That makes a big difference, especially when you can't stop it. And it's got a lot of power. I don't care what anybody says. You don't think so? Rewind that back and watch what just happened. So anyway, we're gonna try again, now that I've got everything moving freely. Better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. And I adjusted the brake, by the way, because it had no brakes. It had no brakes. So I'm seeing a couple of things that need to be fixed. It's torquey, definitely got some torque to it. There's no finessing the throttle, it's just go, like all. It's either idle or go, there's no in between. We need to put a washer in between the fender bracket here and the fork. There's no washer there. And there's a very good possibility that it came that way right from Coleman. But you see that gap, that needs to have a washer there. That's the banging that I'm hearing. Other than that, it just needs a good bath and just try to straighten her up a little bit. Other than that, we got us another project. And we also have a new place for that, dare I say, milk crate that I didn't put on the Royal Enfield. I knew I'd find a place for that milk crate. But I have big plans for this. I can see lights and all kinds of stuff on this thing. Definitely doesn't want to start without the choke being on. Also don't want to start when you got the off button off. Helps if it's on. It's one of those new kinds. Okay, let's go get a bath. So we decided we were going to go ahead and try to fix the gap in that little spot between the fork bolt going through there and the head tube. So we're going to try to do that right now and at least have one thing fixed before I have to go to really repairing everything. My God, we actually got it on the first shot. What's happening, everybody? Here we are back again in the backyard with this thing. Now, I know you're probably wondering why this thing. Well, this thing's got a lot of reasons. But the first one is fun. These things are fun. That's all there is to it. They're easy to work on and they're fun. If you're a beginner in the whole two-wheel world, this is usually where everybody starts out. As a kid, this is where I started out. They weren't made as nice as this one, but they were about the same thing, and a lot of them had 3 horsepower engines, and you didn't really break any land speed records with them. And a lot of times you would try to find an old rototiller or something like that that had a 5-horse Briggs on it, and you would change it out and put the 5-horse Briggs on that thing, and man, you were a land rocket. Just the pavement was just waiting to tear your skin off. Well, on some occasions it did, but this one has a whole different purpose. But what we're about to do now is we're going to pull the bowl on the carburetor, because the gas that's in this thing is old. It is running, it is firing off, but it's old. It's been in there for quite some time. And we're going to drain the tank, spray some carburetor cleaner in the tank, let that run through the system, out through the fuel line and into the carburetor, and that'll help break loose any of that junk that's up in there. And later on we may pull the bowl after it runs a little while, depending on what the gas looks like that comes out of there. If some pieces come out with it when I drain it, we're going to pull the bowl off of there. But anyway, what we're going to do right now is just drain the tank. Then we got a few other things we're going to play around with just a little bit. Now, just in case you're wondering how you do this, on the bottom of the bowl here, that's about as close as I can really get you in there. I'm going to try a little closer here. On the bottom of the carburetor bowl, you have 2 bolts. One's going straight up, and one is coming out at a 45. The one coming out at the 45 is your drain. Okay, you can pull that loose and you can drain what fuel is in that bowl. So that's the one that we're going to pull off there. Now, yes, you may get some gas on you, but that happens. We got to make sure that the fuel is in the on position. Yes, it is in the on position. And break the tank cap loose just a little bit. Let a little extra flow go. And we are going to drain. Ta-da! So while the gas is draining out, I started playing around a little bit. Remember that milk crate that was on the back of the Royal Enfield? You can't tell me that this ain't what a milk crate's made for. So I kept the bracketry from where I had the original rack, or box, I guess you'd say, on the back of the Monkey. Always keep your stuff you build and make, because if you don't, you'll end up building and making it again at some point because you need it for something else. So let me finish up here. Stop bothering me. So we've got the basket on. Hardware is one of those things I want you to remember about hardware. When you're looking for the nuts and the bolts and washers and all that stuff, if you need 4, you're only going to find 3. If you need 6, you're only going to find 5. It's just nature. It's just life, okay? It's just how it works. The tank doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. You got this little screen dude out that usually tries to keep the junk out of the tank. Oh, it looks good. We're perfectly fine there. Oh yeah, everything in there looks good. All right. A win. I get that switch messed up every time. Up is on, okay? Just in case anybody's wondering. Up, on, bottom, off. Now, she's got a funny little idle going on. I can't see you. I am totally blind. I think that's the direction that you are. If I were a pirate, I'd be able to see you. Anyway, it's running. Bag seems to be working. We'll go ahead and put on the old chest mount and take a ride down the road. How about that? That sounds incredible. And let's get her fired up. Oh, I keep forgetting to turn that thing on. One thing I'm definitely noticing, well, one thing I'm really noticing is that the carburetor is junk on this thing. And it's clean as a whistle inside, but it's just garbage. With the throttle on this thing, it is like all or nothing. Really annoying, to be honest with you. And it only really kind of wants to run with the choke on. So maybe a new carburetor in its future. understand the idle is all goofy. Not sure what's going on here. We might have to pull a carburetor and clean it. Well, I've got tears in my eyes because the wind was going right in them at 17 big miles per hour. Anyway, there you go. We got things coming up, more things coming up. This is part one. Part one of what I like to call Be Positive. And the reason I started calling it Be Positive is because it's as blood red as it gets, and it's been giving me a fit. Little stupid things, but we've been taking care of them. So anyway, that is the story of Be Positive, a Coleman CT200U. There's a few little things that we still got to work on, but as of right now, we've got it pretty set up to go do what we wanted if we wanted to go fishing or something like that. One other problem I'm seeing is the forks are a little crooked, and it wants to turn right on its own. I'll have to figure out what I can do to get those straight. And other than that, seems to be doing okay. We'll just keep this good gas running through it, and hopefully it'll clear itself up and quit that goofy idle, and we'll have a nice little off-road machine to play with. Now, this thing has no suspension whatsoever, none. You just kind of let the air out of the tires. That is your suspension, okay? I heard tell that they do make a suspension. They make a front end for this thing that has shocks. The other things I'd like to do is add a light. I'm going to mount maybe a light to the front here somehow with a battery, and figure out how to mount the battery and all that. I have a few batteries and a few ideas. So anyway, there you go. There's part one. Be Positive, the camping fishing mini bike. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna go get the gas smell off me now and eat me a cheesesteak sandwich. It just sounded good.